Hey everyone, in this video I'll walk you through why I don't drink coffee and what I do instead. If you're new here, my name is Olivier and I'm a certified math and physics teacher in Ontario who is currently doing a master's in statistics at Carleton University. It's pretty simple. I don't like the taste of coffee. I don't even like the chocolate bars like Coffee Crisp or that there's cake or ice cream that tastes like coffee. Don't even like those. So for me it was always pretty easy to not start drinking coffee. And I think I'm not the only one, right? Like a lot of people feel like that where they don't like coffee when they're young, their parents drink it and their first taste is absolutely horrible. They start drinking coffee by drinking like 4 sugars, 4 creams, something like that, or sugary lattes. And I mean, I could do that. Like I definitely drink some worse tasting things on the daily and I justify those things. So why not coffee? Well, I'm not in a rush to acquire this acquired taste because I'm probably gonna drink coffee later on, and if I can delay the dependence on coffee, why not delay it if I can and if I don't need the energy right now. For me, sleep is definitely the biggest variable that affects how tired I feel in the morning. If I get a good night of sleep, I usually don't need some more energy, or I don't feel like I need a coffee to wake me up. And I think it's kind of a dangerous game to equate waking up just by habit with drinking a coffee. That's called an addiction, it's called dependence, and I don't want to be reliant on exogenous external substances to make me feel energized. I just wonder how many people, if they had their 8 hours plus of consistent quality sleep, how many people would actually need their coffee in the morning. I suspect a lot of people still would because they like the habit, they like the taste, they like the social aspect of it. But I do think there's a lot of people that wouldn't. And again, don't take my opinion as the gospel. I don't even believe everything I say, so definitely don't believe everything I say. I've been described by some friends in some circles that I am a very high energy person, high strung, but at the same time I just went on a trip and the people I was with told me that I was the most relaxed, laid back person they know. So I think it depends which social environment I'm in, and I definitely adapt, but I think I am a pretty high energy person by default. And there's a quote that stuck out for me from Ted Lasso where one of the players said, "Oh, I don't drink coffee. My mom said I was born caffeinated." And I thought that was kind of funny. Definitely doesn't apply to me. I don't think I was like super hyper in school, but I definitely had good energy growing up, and I still do. And given these energy levels, I actually try to limit the amount of stimulus that I'm exposed myself to. I used to take cold showers in the morning because like everyone else, I heard of Wim Hof, the Iceman, and I'm like, oh, I need to try this. And it did give me a high, right? You feel like alert after, but you want to be careful where you land on that alertness versus relax spectrum, right? Andrew Huberman from the Huberman Lab. I'll put all those videos in the link below, and you might see some pop up. Talks about there's alertness and then there's relax, and you want to match where you land on the specific task. So for example, if you want to be taking free throws in basketball, you want to be alert enough, but you also want to be relaxed enough that you're not shaking. Whereas if you're doing something that you need to be super focused, then you might want to be extremely alert. And if you're trying to meditate, you probably want to be more on the relaxed, or if you're going to bed and whatnot, right? So you want to manage where you land on the alertness and relax spectrum, and maybe you can try to limit the amount of stimulus that you expose yourself to. Most of us anyways in today's day and age, like our society is very fast-paced, that we need to be careful with the amount of information that's coming at us super fast. And a lot of us do hard workouts, that type of stuff, have stressful jobs, stressful family life. It's really important to manage your stress diet and your alertness stimulus diet. An added benefit of not drinking coffee is that you don't build a tolerance. So when you do need the extra alertness and you take a coffee, you feel like magic, you feel like $1,000,000. And it's pretty awesome. I used to tutor 10 to 12 hours on Sundays, so it was like a very busy day and you need to be sharp the whole day, and often we'd go out, stay up late on Saturday, so then the Sunday would be rough. and I didn't like coffee, right? So I took a caffeine pill, and I think it was 200 milligrams by default, and I think that's a large coffee, so that was a lot for me. And honestly, caffeine makes you feel really good and makes me feel really good and really sharp. But the downside is that you get jittery and it's too much sometimes, right? So again, you gotta manage that, or else you'll have to tone it down with another substance at night if you can't regulate yourself naturally. I might not like the taste of coffee, but I do like drinking warm things, so like a hot chocolate, that type of thing. Or what I drink the most, almost every day, is tea. And like coffee, it's interesting to learn about the culture of tea, the history of tea, the different kinds of tea. And I try to stick to herbal teas. That way you get some health benefits, but also you limit your caffeine, doesn't affect your sleep. And there's even teas to calm you down and stuff at night. It's not an insane effect that you see, but even if it's placebo, it helps, right? So I'll take it. Let's go full circle here, and let's go back to what I said about don't believe everything I say, because I don't even believe everything I say to some extent. I feel like I do, but psychologically I don't necessarily. And this ties in with Carol Tavris. I'll try to link the video and the articles. And her research pointed that there's often a pyramid that happens in psychology, and the pyramid is the analogy that the concepts are a bit deeper. But basically, imagine that there's you're in a class and you have a classmate, and you both have the opportunity, or you're both on the fence with whether you should cheat on a test or not. And for some reason, one of you, or let's say I end up cheating because let's say the teacher was near my classmate's desk, so they didn't end up cheating, but I did. Well, we were both 50-50, we were on the fence, but then I ended up cheating, so I'm on the cheating side. And the other person didn't end up cheating, so they took one step down the pyramid. So I'm closer to the cheating side, they're closer to the non-cheating side, and we're still close to the middle. But what ends up happening is once my behavior went one way, then my brain, my writer, tries to overwrite and justify why I did that thing. So eventually you build a story of it's actually better to cheat, and how you justify morally that it's okay to cheat. And the same thing happens for my classmate that didn't cheat, so then he envies the cheaters and says that's not fair, so then they build a story that it's bad to cheat, and eventually you just keep taking steps. Every time you don't cheat on a test, you take one more step. And it's basically the idea that you start close to the middle and eventually you have extreme views. And at the same time, it's that our behavior informs our beliefs. And what you do, your brain often ends up trying to justify the things you do. So that's a very important thing to keep in mind. And it applies directly to why and how I feel about coffee. And I don't hold that strong opinion. So it's like, I don't drink coffee because I don't like it. So then every time I see someone drink coffee, I build that story that, oh, coffee is bad for you. And every time I don't drink coffee, I'm like, oh, that's so good for me and whatnot. So I'll leave you with this question. Would you drink coffee if you didn't need it for energy? Leave your answer in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time with Do the Work.